All right, today we're going to talk about a really important change happening in Indonesia. This big move from old school paper documents to a fully digital system. And trust me, this is about way more than just convenience. It's about security, it's about staying competitive on the world stage, and it's really about building trust in our digital future. So, let's get into it.
So, think about this for a second. Have you ever tried to study, work, or maybe do business in another country? You've probably run into this problem. You have a totally legitimate document, but how on earth do you prove to another government that it's the real deal? This is exactly where things can get super complicated, expensive, and just slow.
Well, the solution is something called an apostille. Honestly, the easiest way to think of it is like an international passport, but for your official papers. It's this standard certificate that basically tells over 120 countries, yep, this document is legit, so they'll accept it without a bunch of extra hoops. It's supposed to make life way easier. But is it? So, here's our game plan. We'll start with what an apostille actually is. Then we'll look at the paper problem Indonesia's facing right now and how the e-apostille can fix it. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of making this digital leap secure and trustworthy. And finally, we'll talk about why this is all about the future.
Okay, let's get to the real issue here. Indonesia has adopted the apostille system, which is awesome. The problem, the way it's set up is, well, it's stuck. It's kind of digital, but kind of not, and that creates a whole new mess of problems.
And this slide just shows you how wild the process is. You start online, which feels modern and efficient, but then, and get this, you have to physically travel, sometimes a really long way, to an office just to pick up a little paper sticker. A sticker that you then have to stick onto your document yourself. It's a digital process that ends in arts and crafts.
You know, this paper system isn't just a hassle, it's a security risk. That little sticker can get lost, damaged, or even faked. And for documents with multiple pages, the sticker only goes on the first one, leaving the other pages totally vulnerable. Plus, verifying it is painfully slow, with officials literally comparing signatures by hand. It's just full of weak spots.
So, the answer is pretty clear, right? A fully electronic apostille, or an e-apostille. We're talking about moving the entire process online, from the moment you apply to the second you get your certified document. No paper, no travel, and definitely no stickers. Now check this out. When you put the two systems side by side, the difference is it's night and day. The e-apostille is instant, not slow. It's encrypted and secure, not vulnerable. You get a verifiable PDF file instead of a flimsy paper sticker. And the cost? It plummets, because you cut out all that travel and waiting time. It's just smarter. And this isn't just a tech idea. Legal experts, like Professor Ahmad Ramli, are saying the same thing. He argues that the law shouldn't be some old anchor holding us back. It has to evolve and actually help society move forward into the digital age.
But, and this is a big but, just making something digital isn't good enough, especially not for official documents. Security and legal validity are everything. So the real question is, how do you build a system that people can actually trust?
A recent study gave us a really powerful answer, and it boils down to this one number: 80%. That's how much of the system's security comes down to just two things: having really strong, clear regulations and requiring the use of digital signatures. That's it.
Let's look at the data. Researchers tested two big ideas. First, do clear rules make the system more secure? And second, do digital signatures help? And as you can see, the answer to both was a huge, resounding yes. So the key here is that you need good laws and good tech working together.
So in the real world, what does that look like? Well, it means a few key things. You need mandatory digital signatures with QR codes you can scan to verify them instantly. You need official reliability certificates for the system itself. And you need oversight from the pros, like Indonesia's National Cyber and Crypto Agency. It's all about building layers of security. And this brings us to an even bigger point. Technology moves at the speed of light, right? But for us to actually adopt it for something as important as public services, it has to be built on a solid foundation of legal trust. Without that, the best technology in the world is just a mystery box. The legal philosopher Gustav Radbruch said it best. He argued that a rule isn't really a law if it's not fair and if it's not predictable. People need to know what the rules are and trust that they won't just change tomorrow. And that is especially true when we're talking about digital systems that handle our most sensitive information. Radbruch's theory basically gives us a 4-point checklist. For an e-apostille system to work, the rules have to be officially written down. They have to be based in reality, how the tech actually works. They have to be super clear so there's no confusion, and they need to be stable. That's how you build real, lasting trust.
So here's the bottom line. You have to bring law and technology together. When you create strong, clear laws that actually recognize and regulate digital things like an e-apostille, you give them real legal power. It means that a digital document is every bit as valid and trustworthy as a paper one.
Okay, let's zoom out for a minute. This whole thing isn't just an internal issue for Indonesia. In the world we live in today, how efficient and trustworthy a country's services are has a direct impact on its reputation around the globe.
And this chart really tells the story. You have 31 countries that are already using full e-apostille systems. The entire European Union considers digital public services a basic right. And then you have Indonesia still stuck in this partially digital phase. The world is clearly moving on, which creates a real sense of urgency to catch up.
And making this change is about so much more than just convenience. It's about making Indonesia more competitive on the world stage. It's about delivering modern government services. But most of all, it's about making life faster, simpler, and cheaper for its own citizens, helping them grab opportunities anywhere in the world.
When you step back, Indonesia's journey with the e-apostille is really a perfect example of a challenge every nation is facing. And it leaves us with a really important question to think about. As our world keeps getting more and more digital, how do we make absolutely sure that our most important foundations, our laws, and the trust we have in them, don't get left behind in the past?